gonna ask you, bro. It's been on my head the whole time, bro. Because I was watching one of your little segments, and y'all were talking about ghosts. Mm-hmm. What? So you do? So what was your take on it again? Like what?
My take was he asked me, did I believe in
like spirit? Like was
spirits or something?
Yeah.
I was just like, do you believe that they were
people once?
Once, yeah.
Yeah. So what was your answer to that? You said you do believe that, or?
I believe that. I gotta update my answer because I want to say I believe in both. Just because but more than I believe that they are just beings in a sense. So I guess because based off of one experience that I had, like with the sleep paralysis that I was.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just. I don't feel like that was once a living person or anything. I just feel like it was just something that was just bad. Yeah.
But that's like, I think that's like something different. Like that's a different like plane or a different what's the word? Like that came from like a different not a universe, but you know what I'm saying? Like that was not from here. And like I think when you go to sleep, you're putting yourself like subconsciously out there. And I believe that there are spirits, like people can still be stuck here, right? And they can still communicate and things like that. But I also believe that there's things amongst us too that just don't have no good intention. And their sole purpose is to just...
You actually can't. I get you. Yeah, because it's people like that.
Yeah, like the poltergeist, for instance. Like they sole purpose is to just like wreak havoc, just move all your stuff around. And
like that's what I'm saying. Like it's people like that. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I didn't even really think about it like that. Yeah. I mean, that could have been a person. It's people that just wreak havoc, just because even mass shooters, like they shooting people that, you know what I'm saying, that they never met. This person can be cool, and you just like don't have no empathy, and you just you
ever think like?
So I'm pretty sure that like
it could be somebody frustrated or something like that. I don't know. Like I be watching Supernatural, bro, and this dude Bobby on there, that fool died, bro, but he like still stays with them. But they say like eventually, like every spirit, like if they don't pass, they become like vengeful spirits because they mad that nobody can talk to them, and they just never got the chance to move on or move wherever they go. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's deep.
I feel like that is a possibility, despite that being a TV show. And I've experienced that, bro. Like I've had real deal stuff happen to me, and like I think in order to like be like a true like non-believer to that idea, like you got to put yourself in all aspects of that situation. Like if you haven't experienced it, you can't say you don't believe in it. You know what I mean? Like you got to have your eyes, like your mind open to that stuff. Like sleep paralysis, that's scary, bro. That's scary, bro. Like straight up.
It really is.
And it really is. My experience with sleep paralysis was I tried to induce sleep paralysis because I heard like you not induce sleep paralysis, but induce like lucid dreaming. So like you're in control of your dreams. But it takes time, and sometimes it'll mess up. If you try to wake up in the midst of like your body transitioning into being like deep sleep, then that's what sleep paralysis is. And so when I did that, bro, I remember like I woke up and nigga, like I'm looking around the room, bro, but like I'm just dead ass like stuck in my bed, bro. And my bathroom door happened to be open, and I just felt like something was there, bro. Like watching, like I don't know if you ever seen like shadow people, like
silhouette.
That. Yeah, silhouette. Yeah, and you couldn't put a finger on, but you knew wherever the energy was coming from was just like
just there with you.
Yeah,
it wasn't just like you was stuck. You felt like it was a being or something watching you or something holding you down or whatever it is. That's my experience, bro. Like I felt like something was just holding me down, and I wanted to talk, but I couldn't say nothing.
Right. Yeah. And then you just eventually, I don't know, just
get up.
But when I do that, I ain't gonna stunt. I'm a grown ass man, bro, and I'll be scared to go back to sleep after that. Like I was.
Yeah, because it's traumatizing. It's something that you're not used to, man. It's just like so far. It seemed like it's like some movie type of stuff, bro.
Yeah, and like for instance, like after my daughter had passed away, 2018, I was living like my ex, she had moved out or whatever, and I was like, my daughter passed in the house, and like that messed me up, but I just kept calling out to her, right, and I would tell people from experience, like, don't call out the things because You never know what's listening. It's so real, bro. It's so real. And I started calling out to her, bro. And things started happening, G. Be times I'll be sitting on the couch, bro, and I can hear like a tap on the door upstairs or something like that. And then I start hearing her music, like her stuff when it was still in the house. Like I hear like a toy play, things like that. And I start calling her name, asking where she was, and things started like just happening more. And I was like, man, that's my daughter. And I could feel it. Like I was in the room, bro, by myself in her old room, and like I was playing a song she used to love. When I was just closing my eyes, bro, like no cap, like I was dancing in the room, like by myself, crying and stuff, feeling her spirit. And I felt it. And I always felt it at first, but I just kept entertaining it. But I believe that like if you're doing like really bad drugs as well, like those things have like an attachment to like they invite bad spirits too. And so I started doing drugs in my house. That's when I told you I started getting strung out. And I was calling out to her. And then one day I remember like I called out to her and I was like, Mila. And I was in a townhome and I stood at the bottom of the stairs, bro. And I just felt like something went right up there. I heard a noise up there.
You said this is when you was like doing drugs?
Yeah, but I was sober, mind you,
Yeah,
but like I started noticing the transit, like the transformation of like the feeling. And I went up there, bro, and I just didn't feel like welcome up there. And I didn't know what to think of it, and I just knew that it wasn't her, bro. Like I knew, and things started transpiring, noises started happening. The back door, bro, like I swear to God, like it was like a knock 3 times, and then the fridge, somebody knocked 3 times. And then one day, like, I used to keep my bread on top of the fridge. I still do. But, like, somebody knocked, I swear to God, bro, somebody knocked the loaf of bread off that fridge and onto the floor. And my wife, she was my girl or whatever at the time, and she didn't believe me, fool. She thought I just kept it, like, close to the edge and it fell. But it didn't. I'm trying to tell people, bro, like, that stuff is real. And then I knew something wasn't right. And I was sitting there with my brother, man, one of my homeboys, and truth be told, we were sitting there like smoking dope, you know what I mean, like rolling bowls and stuff. And I tried to tell him what was going on about it, and I called it out for what it was. I was like, man, I think something demonic starting to happen here, bro. And the moment I like started feeling that presence, bro, he like freaked out and he like looked towards the kitchen and his eyes got big like this. And he stood up and he was like, I gotta go, bro. I gotta go. I was like, why? What's wrong? And he tried to tell me that he seen something like a silhouette come out my guest bathroom and like just kind of float to the kitchen. And he had a bad feeling about it and he dipped, fool. And I kind of like, I'm not gonna stun. I was on one, so I was just kind of like moving fast to the door. I was like, all right, bro, well, see you later. Whoop, whoop. And I closed the door. When I closed the door, bro, I felt like the force just come flying at me. Like it was just like evil, bro. And after that, once I called it out for what it was, it started going crazy up in the house, bro. Like stuff moving, stuff knocking. I started having a bad smell in my house, bro, like a rotten meat smell. Things like that. And it got to a point, bro, that like I started getting like goosebumps. There was like shadows in the corner of the room, like manifesting like this, and it just get like a big bulb, you know what I mean? And like at one point, people didn't want to go upstairs in my room, and I just upstairs in general. And I slept on the couch, bro. I slept on the couch. And I think that like me doing them drugs, bro, and just inviting bad people into my house, like energy is everything, bro. So like when you bring just negative energy on top of that and you calling out the stuff, it can transpire into something crazy, fool. And it got to a point like niggas didn't want to come in my house no more, and they were just freaked out. Like you just knew things were moving around, things were happening, and eventually, like my wife now, bro, and she's such a like spiritual Christian woman. She went in there not scared at all, bro, just going in the rooms like praying for it. And she said she felt it like running away from her, bro. And like at one point in time, my homeboy was living with me, and he was like, "Hey man, was you?" He was sleeping on the couch at one point, and he was like, "Hey bro, was you up all night?" I say, no. I said, I'm passed out. He like, you sure you wasn't up all night, bro? Like, somebody was pacing up in your room for like hours, bro. Hours. He said he just heard like footsteps, fool, like boots. And I was like, no. And that, I knew right then and there, bro. But like, long story short, like, that stuff is so real, G. It's so real. And from there, like, I had to be careful of like who I had around me, what I was watching, like you got to be careful who you call out to. And I definitely believe there's like human spirits, right? But if you hold on to them, they're going to get stuck. And then other things can hear that too. And then when you manifesting negative energy, it's not a good concoction, bro. So I definitely believe that like there's demonic stuff in this world. Like I've seen it for myself, bro. And
so what did you say that that allowed the demons to come in? Like what do you feel like you
like
done
what
to-
started it?
Yeah, because I know you were talking about like when you start like hearing your daughter playing with toys and the music that you used to play. And
I would say that the things in this world that are not good spiritually, that are demonic, they feed off of sadness. They feed off of bad energy. They feed off of fear, depression. And in that house, it was nothing but that. You know,
so that allowed them to a portal to go through, I guess.
and I'm gonna stick to my story to this day, but I feel like that thing tricked me, bro. Like I think that it like did something that made me think it was my daughter, and I started entertaining that. And once I figured out that hey, this ain't right no more, that's when things started changing. And I always chalked it up to maybe like, oh, you was like smoking ice, bro. But like no, like everybody and their mama was like,
it was because you said like some of your homeboys heard pacing, and so if they not doing any of that or dabbling in it, it's just like it's just not you. It's
I thought I was tripping, but yeah, it was very much real. You know, at one point I was barbecuing, man. We was all outside, and my homegirl was there, and she went upstairs to go use the restroom or do something, and she came out just like not talking, and I was like, "You good?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I say, "No, for real, what's wrong?" And she say, "I don't know what it is up in the upstairs, but there's not a good energy, and I don't feel welcome, and I don't think you should sleep up there anymore. And to be honest with you, you should buy like, it was like some amethyst, like that crystal.
Yeah,
rocks,
the purple crystals.
Yeah. And so
I used to love those when I was in elementary
with the lights on it and everything. Heck yeah. And that's what she said you should buy for like good vibes.
I heard
or whatever.
about that.
But yeah, man, that stuff is definitely real. Just stuff you gotta be careful with. I think people think it's just you take it for face value, like here we are and we die. Like, nah, bro, there's so much more after this. Like, we're just vessel. Like, this is just your body, bro. So where does spirit go when it's done? Like, what do you believe?
I don't know. Like, I'm open minded. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You never like pondered on it, or?
I mean, I thought about it sometimes. I mean, just because when my great grandmother passed away, I felt her energy. I don't feel like the energy dies.
You think it goes on? Well, energy never dies, right? It just passes through stuff like that. But you don't think that there's like you think there's another existence after this? Besides just being like a ball of energy?
I'd rather it be like that, you know. I'd rather it be like that than just like complete darkness. You know,
it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, it don't make sense, man. I don't know, like
it takes balls to be an atheist. I say
it takes balls, but then again, it's like to be fair, some atheists, I guess, I kind of understand where they come from, and maybe they just didn't have like a experience in their life that aligned with a God existing. Maybe you have people that want to be religious, but they just don't understand it. Or you also have people or you also got atheists, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't feel anything, or they
haven't had an experience to change their
like
mind.
one-on-one. They didn't have an experience to change their mind.
You got to, you know. I think a big part of like being an atheist, bro, is religious people turning you away from the idea of like even believing.
Yeah.
Being a bad testimony is like such a big thing. Like my wife, she corrects me all the time. Like, you need to be a good testimony. Like, you can't sit here and do this, and this, but then turn around and do this, you know. But it's like that, and I hear it all the time. Like, man, I ask him, why don't you go to church? Well, man, because how you gonna sit there and say love thy neighbor, but you steady cursing to do that when you driving down the highway, or this, that, and the other, and it's little things like that, you know what I mean? Or
that makes sense.
Yeah,
like you can be their first taste of a belief, and then like they see how you live in your life.
And for the rest of their life, they don't.
They through with it. They don't want to hear nothing about it.
Yep. Or you just haven't had that experience, you know. But an atheist once told me, they was like, "Do you remember when you weren't born?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
This blackness.
I said, "No." He's like, "Then how would you know that you were dead? Like, how you wouldn't like?" I don't think it's like a person. Like, I can't wrap my head around like, what would it be to be dead?
Just nothing.
Because there'd be no consciousness. It doesn't make sense. But you know, when we die, we die. I guess we'll really see. You know what I mean? I think some things we're not meant to know.
Yeah.
Some things we're just not meant to understand, and death is one of them. You never know until you.
How can you cherish it? How can you cherish life if you know what happens afterwards?
That, and if you're fearful of it.
Huh?
That, and if you're fearful of death.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times, like, if you're fearful of always what's going to happen,
you're not in the moment.
You're not in the moment. You're definitely not in the moment. But yeah, man, I just don't think. I think it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to like believe in something. Like, what do you lose in the long run? Like, I'm not that deep into my walk yet with God to have these kind of like debates with people that have like been so. Their mindset is like, I don't believe and this is why, and how can you tell me this and that. I'm not there yet, but it takes more faith. Like, what do you lose from just trying? Like, you become like, let's just say,
yeah. Well, if you're a Christian, pretty much you lived a life where you was just not, like you lived a righteous life, and you weren't stepping on toes to the best of your ability, and at the end of the day, you believe this was true and it ended up not being, and you just pass away and there's nothing after this. Versus if you're an atheist and you know what I'm saying, you live like however you want to live, and you die and you like, oh shit, this was real. Here it is.
Then you out of there.
Then you out of there.
And then you get judged, and it's like,
I get what you're saying.
I don't know. Yeah, I used to believe that, like, well, it's just a book that makes people be better people. You know what I mean? It's just something that makes you feel comfortable about before you die. It just makes you a better individual. Me personally, and I never push my beliefs on anybody. You can't do that, bro. You just simply can't.
You gotta let them live. That's their walk.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you like this is.
Then you can sow a seed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not your job. You know, and I learned that too. Is like, I used to get disappointed. Like, man, I told this guy about church. I told this guy about prayer. I told this guy like, God loves you. You know, and then nothing happened. But it's like, again, sowing seed. I like how you said that. Like, you can cast your water, you can cast your bread out to the sea, and it'll always come back to you. Like, but you gotta let God do the rest of that. Like, I strongly believe in that, bro. You know, because from my testimony, like, it's real. I never believed in God. Like, I grew up in church, but I never like understood it. I just did it because it was like a traditional thing to do. It was. I don't know. It was just like a thing that everybody did. Like, you go to church on Sundays and then you go eat breakfast after that or lunch or whatever. But I've had an experience, bro, and it saddens me because if you just open your heart and your mind up to it, bro, like, what do you have to lose? Like, I would never have what I have if I didn't just like give myself up and say, I can't do this. Like, I'm not anybody by myself. Like, I have to, you know, that from my experience, it's just it works, and I just want to tell everybody, but not everybody wants to hear it, and you can't also force feed somebody. Like, there's a line you draw. You know, there's people out there that just sit there and like run up on you and
you try to just argue,
Bible force it on you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do it, and like, you know, just to sow the seed, because maybe you might say something that you might say something later on in life, and it's just like, dang, I heard that from him. And this aligns with what I'm going through now. Let me see what this let me dig into this, and maybe, you know what I'm saying, you probably just played your part. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta.
So all you are here to be, man, is like be stewards and stewardesses, like be good representation of what the book represents. Because again, like, there's so many people that have like been turned away because of that, you know, and that's why it's so important, bro. Like, things I struggle with still is like cussing. Like, I know I'm not supposed to cuss, or like drinking, for instance. For me, like, I used to love drinking, you know what I mean, and Bible say like having a sober mind, you know what I mean? Just being prepared for like the devil like trying to attack you in those times of like vulnerability. Things like that are difficult, but I think people have this like this misconception that like if you're a Christian, you're supposed to automatically just convert over to just being like this perfect person, and you're not. That's the cool thing about it, is like you can still be an imperfect person. That's what it's about. It's like us being imperfect, but something like God loves you so much that like he'll still give you a chance. And why it's not believable to people is because there's nobody in this world that is like that. Like, you're not gonna forgive me over and over and over again. Like, if I
so they comparing it to human understanding, I guess.
Yeah, and you can't, like, the Bible says like your thoughts are not of my thoughts, your words are not of my words. You know what I mean? Like, you can't you can't. You just simply have to like just try your best every day. You know, you have to try your best every day, and you can't go off of other people's experiences. Like, you have to seek the truth for yourself. Let somebody's good testimony motivate you to seeking that. You know, and it worked for me, man. I'm just blessed to have so many like influential people in my life that have kept me in their prayers or like kept me around. You know, because without it, we wouldn't be sitting here talking like this right now. I wouldn't have nothing good to say. You know, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's deep, bro. But yeah, that's just a little bit of how I feel about that, bro. For real. But yeah, as far as the ghost thing's concerned, ghost is definitely real, bro. And I try to keep the peace. I try to keep positivity in my crib because I don't want none of that again. Sleep paralysis, you can't control that though. That's scary as hell. That's scary as hell for surely.
Yeah, heck yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. If you experience anything, well, I don't know. I know I'm gonna mess it up, but Paul was saying something about like your body shuts down to where you won't be interrupted while you sleep or something. And when you wake up, and it kind of is like where you still in that state of, and you wake up and you just conscious like, oh, you know.
What did he say? He was like, your body like stops you from having the ability to like move.
Yeah,
like roll over, twitch, so like you stay in place or something like that. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I see some truth in it, but like then sometimes I'm like, why the hell do I see a silhouette though?
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, why?
Yeah,
does that,
so why did that? Like, yeah,
and it's a common thing, and everybody's like
sleep paralysis. Like that happened.
Yeah.
Like that keeps reoccurring. People are like, oh man, I had sleep paralysis. I seen this.
Yeah. I ain't digging it. I try to keep the peace with all that stuff. I tried to, man. I used to be able to do it. I was a kid, bro. I remember this one. I never even meant to do it. To this day, I remember that dream, fool. Like, I went to sleep, and I had a dream like I was running through like this maze or whatever, bro. Like, it was like some weird like foresty like maze. And I was scared something was chasing me, and I had to get back to this one point in order to like transport back to like being awake. And then like I woke up and I thought I was in my bed, nigga. And I remember I was like 7, and I woke up and I was still in my dream. And
I hate those dreams.
Yeah,
I hate those dreams.
You know what I'm talking about?
When you think that you up and you really not. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to dream about Freddy Krueger on me, and he used to, and I used to be like, all right, I'm up, and then I see him again. I was like, man, come on, man. And it feels like so natural, like I'm really up, and it's just like, oh, he's here, and then I wake up in real life, and it's just like, man, is he still in this room?
Yeah, but nothing was really there the whole time. Goddamn it, I feel you.
It's crazy as heck, man.
I'm all out of water, goddamn it. I drank that whole bottle sitting here. But yeah, man. But like I said, I really appreciate you. You know what I mean? Having me on here. I think it's just a cool thing that you're doing, bro. You having like-minded people, or even like not even necessarily like-minded people. It's good to have conversations with people that don't agree with you.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I like that. Or even if we just sit and agree all day, it's just like on some just to have conversation, man.
Yeah.
It's just you know, just hearing like another like, you know what I'm saying? It always feel better whether you agree or not, just to hear different perspectives. Like, I mean, if y'all agree, then it's like, dang, man, that kind of backed up what I was already feeling.
It worked.
If y'all disagree, then it's like, dang, I just learned a new perspective, or somebody was here to actually hear how I feel about a certain topic. So it's all like, it's all mutually beneficial, bro.